Geometry SOL Review. What you're about to see is a fun review of the Virginia Geometry SOL. It was made in February, so it does not cover everything on the SOL. The video reviews 30 questions. Pause the video at the beginning of each question and try it yourself. After you get an answer, play the video and see if you got it right. Grade yourself as you go. There'll be a message at the end explaining your results. Try your best. Enjoy the video.
Where am I?
Don't be scared, Miss Sank. I just put you in a math problem. It's a new app where you can insert a teacher into a math problem.
Oh my goodness, Mr. Riddle.
Turn around and look behind you.
Okay.
How do I do this math problem?
Okay. Let me just say this is freaking me out a little bit, but I'm going to talk you through this math problem anyways. So let's see what it says. Lines M and R are cut by a transversal. What value of X will show that line M is parallel to line R? Are you going to help me out here, Mr. Riddle?
Sure, I'll do whatever you want me to do.
Okay, so look at the two expressions we have there. Those expressions are inside of alternate interior angles. So can you mark those
Sure.
congruent, because in parallel lines those two angles would be congruent. Which
What do you
means
mean
they'd be
congruent?
equal to each other. So we're going to set those two expressions equal to each other. So we're going to 3x minus 35 is equal to 7x minus 115. Now let's go ahead and solve for x here. So we're going to subtract 3x from both sides. Alright, and we're going to add 115 to both sides. You're better at doing the math in your head, Mr. Riddle.
Oh, let's see. That would be 80.
Okay, we're going to divide both sides by 4. So it looks like in order for these lines to be parallel, x has to be 20. Alright, now how do I get out of this?
Well, listen, you're in a pretend world now,
Okay,
so you have powers. How about just flying out of there?
sweet.
Oh, I know what this is.
This would be revenge, Mr. Riddle.
That's not funny. It's not funny at all.
Well, to some it might be.
Alright, let me just go ahead and get this over with. Let me see what it is.
Thanks, you could just talk us through this problem.
Alright, it says number 2, if lines A and B are parallel, what's the value of X? Well, right off the bat, I see that X, if I'm looking at lines A and B, then X is on transversal C. So can you mark out that line D for me?
Sure.
So now do the riddle slash.
Alright.
And remember, if two lines are parallel, we have those slashes. If one has a slash and the other does not, we add them together, we get 180. Correct?
Sounds right to me.
Alright, so take 180 and subtract 120. And you get 60. So that's what X is equal to. X would have to be 60.
Thank you, Mr. Riddle.
Alright, so
Look, I was looking at all your buttons and gadgets over here, and there's something that says dinosaur.
whatever you
What
do,
happens?
don't hit that button. I know you're kind of mad at me, but don't hit it.
Well,
Whoa, what is this?
I told you we'd get her, Miss Hank. Hey,
I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
oh, it is pretty funny. Hey, what you're in right now, it's a new app where we can insert teachers into the smartboard.
This is awesome.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? Turn around and look at this problem. I'd like for you to tell our students how to do this problem.
Okay, so first read it. It says, for what measure of angle D is AB parallel to DC in this figure? First, I'd have them mark the parallel side. So,
Alright,
If
so
you
you want me to
want-
do that for you, Miss Smith?
please, that'd be great.
Alright, so
Yeah,
AB.
unfortunately, you're two-dimensional right now, and you can't use these tools. You have to ask us to do it.
All right, what else do we do, Ms. Smith?
All right, since the left side makes a triangle, let's find that missing angle.
Good idea. How many degrees do they add up to total, Ms. Smith?
180.
All right, so let's see. If I add these two together, I get 111. So I'm going to take 180 and subtract 111. Looks like I'm going to get 69 degrees. So you want me to put that in here, Ms. Smith?
Please.
All right.
All right, so now we got our 3 angles on the left, and now vertical angle. So where's the vertical angle? Could you mark the vertical angle with the Mr. Riddle slash?
Absolutely.
All right, so now we know that DEC is 85 degrees as well. So if BAE is 69, what is angle EBC?
You know what? I would maybe look at this as a transversal coming through here. You want me to draw that in there?
That'd be awesome.
All right, Mr. Riddle's much better at this than I am. Let's see. All right, I'm going to fix it. Hold on.
That was terrible.
Yeah, I know. Thanks.
A for effort.
Nice fix, though.
Thanks.
Hey, I see 2 alternate interior angles.
I do too.
All right.
So we're looking for angle D, which is EDC.
This one?
Yes.
So what one would that be congruent to?
That would be congruent to angle 69 because they are alternate interior angles.
Oh, so it looks like we have our answer. So the measure of angle D is equal to?
69.
Hey, that was an awesome job for your first time.
Congratulations. Ms.
You're going to love this part.
Wait, hold on. Let me try this button right here.
All right.
What's going on?
Well, hello, Miss Korea.
Hey, Miss Korea.
Miss Hank and I found this new cool app where we can put you in the smartboard. What do you think?
Boy, that sounds crazy.
It is crazy. Turn around and look at that math problem and see if you can do this.
I can't do this. I'm not a geometry teacher.
You can do this. You're smart. Just look at it and figure it out.
Looks like it's either PR or PS. Get a ruler, Mrs. Hank. All right, let's see. I mean, you could have asked a little bit nicer, but all right. Okay, so here's the ruler. What are we going to do with it? Well, go ahead and measure BC. Okay. Since that's what we're trying to find. All right, looks like BC is a little bit over 1.5 inches. Okay, what are we doing now? Now rotate your ruler. Okay. And put it down on that ray you got. Okay. Oh, good vocabulary word, Miss Priya. Why, thank you. And which one is, you said 1.5? Yeah, a little bit more than 1.5, so it looks like PR is like CR.
Pretty good. Very good, Miss Korea. Hey, would you like to know how to get out of there?
Sure.
All right, listen. Just catch this.
Where am I? Welcome, Mr. Rowski. Me and Mr. Riddle found a new app that allows us to put teachers right inside the smartboard.
No. I've got students I need to teach in my classroom. I don't have time for this.
No, this will be great. Just turn right around and look at that problem.
But I don't teach geometry.
Oh, just do it.
All right. Which problem?
Number 5. It says in the figure shown, parallel lines J and K are cut by transversal M. What is the measure of angle 1?
So the key here is that they said they were parallel, correct?
I agree.
Okay, so let's go ahead and mark them as parallel.
All right.
So since they are parallel, I know that all those angles either have to be equal or they have to be whatever 180 minus that is. So looking at the angle 32, and angle 1 is definitely smaller than 180 minus 32, so it has to be 32. That's way too easy.
Yeah, I agree. That is an easy question.
Come on, give me something harder.
All right, maybe next time.
Stay tuned.
All right, fair
All right,
enough.
so-
Now how do I go back to my classroom?
Here, Mr. Rowski, catch this. kind of get the hang of this thing. Mr. Riddle, I'm kind of glad you brought some other people into this too. So thank you.
Hey, spread the love, spread the love.
Okay, so let's see what problem we have here. Lines y and z are cut by a transversal. For what value of x is y parallel to z? Don't forget about that symbol. Can you highlight that symbol, please, Mr. Riddle?
Absolutely.
Those two lines right there mean parallel. Do not get those confused with the perpendicular symbol. So, Mr. Riddle, why don't you go ahead and do the good old Riddle slash between those two sets of angles.
My pleasure. I'll do it in red.
Okay, so if you remember, the Riddle slash means that if the slash goes through the angle, all of those angles are congruent. And if it doesn't, then those set angles are congruent. So because they both have a slash through them, x is congruent to 77. It's equal to 77. And that's all there is to that problem.
Good deal. Hey, Miss Hank.
Yeah.
Catch.
What's going on?
Hello, Miss Dooley.
Hi, Miss Dooley.
Hello there.
Hey, you're experiencing a new app we found where we can put teachers into math problems. We thought it would be fun to put an administrator in one.
Wonderful. That's exciting.
All
So,
right.
Miss Dooley, can you turn around and take a look at this math problem
Sure.
and read it for us, please?
Two chords intersect with the measure shown in the drawing.
Now, I'll be really impressed if you can remember how to do this problem.
Well, two chords intersect, so that would be part times part equals part times part.
I am
Wow.
impressed.
I'm extremely
So
impressed.
in other words, part times part equals part times part. Very impressive. Well, if I combine these, that's 7.5x, and that equals 60. Then what do I do, Miss Dooley?
Well, now you need to divide 7.5x.
Oh.
So
She studied when she was at school. She remembers. Nice. So x equals 8. Very impressive. I am impressed.
Nice job, Miss Dooley.
why, thank you.
Mr.
Hey.
Riddle, how are we gonna get rid of? How are we gonna get Miss Dooley out of this one?
Well, you remember Miss Dooley last week when I asked for a day off?
I do remember.
You remember telling me no?
Yes, I remember.
All right. Well,
Whoa, how did I get here?
Hey, Mr. Burton, welcome.
Hey, Miss Hank, how are you?
Mr. Riddle, you want to explain what's going on here?
well, we have an app, Mr. Burton, and we can hit insert teacher, and it randomly picks teachers from PH and throws them into these math problems, and we just ask the teacher to do the problem.
Lucky me, I guess.
So,
if
turn
you
around and look at this problem.
Okay.
All right.
if you wouldn't mind talking us through this, that would be
Sure.
wonderful.
Okay. This figure represents line segments paid on a parking lot to create parking spaces. Kind of like I saw outside this morning. Which equation can be used to show that these line segments are parallel? Okay? And so I guess what you have to remember about parallel lines is that they never intersect and they create the same angles with the transversal, which is going to be that flat horizontal line there at the top.
This
So all we
one?
have- Yep, that flat horizontal one at the very top.
Let me highlight it.
That is going to be our transversal because that's the line that the other two lines might be intersecting and parallel lines here. So we just have to think about how x and w are going to be related to 118 degrees, and that's going to give us our equation. Okay? So if once you're looking at this, you might say that, well, x is going to be the same as 118. They're both obtuse angles, right? Now, is there any equation that says x equals 118? Because if there is, then I'm done here. But it doesn't look like it's that easy this time. So then you have to think, well, how is x related to w? Well, they're a linear pair, so that means they have to add up to 180 degrees, right, Mr. Riddle?
I agree. So which answer is it?
So do any of them say 118 plus w equals 180? No. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, W plus 118 equals 180, D right there.
All right. Hey, Mr. Burton, that was awesome. You did so good. I'm gonna let you do another one.
Oh, that sounds good. Okay, so given that triangle ABC, remember that that symbol means triangle, is similar to triangle LMN. They're not congruent. So similar triangles means that their sides are proportional, or we can set up a proportion between the corresponding sides of these different sized triangles.
How do we know what sides line up with each other, Mr. Burton?
Well, that's a good question, Ms. Hank. One way is to always go off of the similarity statement. That's what I like to tell my kids. So if we're going to look at our statement, ABC is similar to LMN, which means that side AB is going to have to be proportional to side LM here, because they're in the same spot in our similarity statement. So we know that AB is 5 units long and LM is 10. So some people will say, well, 10 is twice as big as 5, so I know that the bigger triangle is twice the size of the smaller one. Other people might say, let's set up a proportion, which is probably how I would do this. So if we're going to set up a proportion from the small triangle to the large one, I'm going to put the measures for the small triangle on the tops of my fractions, the numerators, and I'm going to put the measures for the large triangle on the denominators, the bottom. So if I set up my proportion, I'm going to have 5 divided by 10, because I'm looking at AB compared to LM, right? And now I'm going to say, let me pick 2 more corresponding sides on my small and large triangle. So we can use whatever we want here. We can use AC or we can use BC.
What do you want me to use?
Let's go ahead and use BC for the small triangle. That's the bottom side there. So that's x plus 4 long. And we have to look at the corresponding side for our big triangle. So if we look at our similarity statement up top again, we can see that BC is going to correspond to MN. And MN on the large triangle is 3x plus 1 long.
All right, how do I do this?
Well, yeah, now we've got our proportions, so we're just going to cross multiply here. We're going to say 5 times 3x plus 1 and 10 times x plus 4. Do you have a fancy name for that, Mr. Riddle?
No, I don't.
Not yet? Okay.
Let's see. I'm going to distribute this when I multiply. So that's 15x plus 5. That should be equal to 10x plus 40.
Okay. And now if you're old school, you can solve this by hand by taking away the side with the less amount of x's, but I sometimes will say to my kids, just use your calculator, plug it into y1, the left-hand side. So we're going to say 15x plus 5 goes in y1 in my calculator, 10x plus 40 goes in y2.
Mr. Riddle, you
No,
just
I
covered
didn't
up
mean to
Mr.
cut you
Burton.
I'm sorry. All right, so looking at this, let me turn it on. Y equals, Mr. Burton, I'm going to cover you up a second.
Look out.
All right.
Let's see, this is 15x plus 5, and y2 was 10x plus 40.
Sounds good.
All right, let me get you out of the dark here. Now what do I do?
Now we're going to want to take a look at the graph to see if we can see where these 2 lines, these 2 functions are intersecting. So we're going to hit graph, which is in the upper right corner, and hope that we can see 2 lines. Now I see 1 and I see 2, but I don't exactly see where they cross. So we might have to zoom out on this by hitting zoom 3 and then enter. And hopefully we can see them both this time where they cross. And I'm still not really sure. What do you think, Mr. Riddle?
I don't think I
I
can
might want to
see it
hit
yet.
enter one more
You
time.
might want to do it one more time. So let's hit zoom 3, enter, and go out one more time.
There we go.
I'm pretty sure they're crossing
Yeah, I
now.
think so too. So now we're going to hit second, and then the trace button so we can calculate our intersect, which is number 5. And we're going to hit enter 3 times because we've only got 2 curves. And it looks like when x is 7.
All right, we're done. X equals 7. So is that the answer?
Well, did they ask us for x this time?
They didn't.
No, they asked for AC. So if we want to figure out how long AC is, it's a good thing we found x. X is 7. Let's go ahead and plug that in or substitute. We have 7 plus 5, which is going to give us 12.
Hey, that was an awesome job for your first time doing this.
Thanks, Mr. Riddle.
You're welcome. Would you like to leave here?
Yeah, I'll leave here, but maybe I'll come back later.
That's cool. Just step through that portal right there.
Okay?
Ms. Hopkins. Welcome. Myself and Mr. Riddle found this cool app that we can just grab a teacher from wherever they are and put them into the smartboard.
Cool. Nice. Okay. Do you want
So-
to help on this problem?
That would be
Absolutely. Just
awesome.
turn around, look at the problem, and tell me how to do it, please.
Okay, well, first of all, sometimes I get confused because you'll see a problem that looks just like this one, but it will say which could be a triangle. This is different because it says which could be a right triangle. All right, so that means I'm going to have to plug these numbers into the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. All right, it's important to remember that c is always the largest number. That's your hypotenuse. All right, so let's start with answer A. And Mr. Riddle, will you pull up a calculator? I'm not very good at arithmetic.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
I'm going to cover you up.
Hey, I can't, I'm not going to be able to see.
You can still see the problem, can't you?
I guess so.
All right, so tell us what to do while you're hiding back there.
All right, so my A and B values here would be 40 and 9. Those are my two smaller numbers. So I would type in 40 squared plus 9 squared and hit enter. That's a squared plus b squared. My goal is for that to equal c squared if it's a right triangle. So I'm going to type in 41 squared, hit enter. And da-da-da-da, we left out the answer is A because those two values were equal. Now, if I were on the SOL, I would try each answer choice just to make sure I didn't typo.
All right, good job. That was really good for your first video.
Thanks.
All right, so you're in video land, so you can exit however you want.
Hey, Miss Korea, welcome back.
I thought I was done with this.
We're going to make you do one more problem. Turn around and look.
Check it out, Miss Korea. Look at yourself. Oh my gosh, look how tiny I am. What did you do to me?
Well, we made you small because we wanted people to see why this question is so easy. So check out this question. What does the answer have to be?
So which of the following statements must be true about this Venn diagram? What do you think, Miss Korea? Well, some of these are some of these.
I agree.
So it has to be G.
Yeah, don't overthink a problem like this. That's really easy. Nice job, Miss Korea.
So, Miss Korea, you're in video world. So Mr. Riddle told me that I can do anything I want. So how do you want to exit this time? I will fly on out of here.
All right,
go
let's
ahead.
see it.
What, back so soon? Guess y'all missed me. Alright, so our next question, we're trying to prove that two triangles are congruent. And I need to pick the shortcut. So I need to read what is given, otherwise I'm not going to be able to answer this question. But before I start even doing that, this looks like a bow tie question to me. So the first thing I would do is I would mark, yeah, Mr. Riddle, we mark that those two angles are congruent because they're vertical angles. All right, so I always start off the bow ties like that. And now let's read what we're given. AC and BD bisect each other. So if you don't know what bisect means, it's a pretty hard problem. Bisect, bi means two, sect means cut. So they're cutting each other in two. So that means that AE and EC are congruent. So would you mark that for me? All right. And AC bisects BD as well, so we know that those two pieces, DE, thank you, Mr. Riddle, are congruent as well. All right. So it's pretty easy to see. I've got two sides and an angle that are congruent, and my angle falls in between those two congruent sides. So my answer would be side, angle, side.
Very good.
Thanks.
All right, Miss Hopkins, just stand right there for a second.
Okay.
Just don't worry about what Mr. Riddle's doing right
What
there.
are you doing?
I think you'll enjoy this ride.
What are you talking about?
All right, what's my question this time?
It's a blank board. So, I need you to come up with a question.
Thanks, Mr. Riddle.
You're welcome.
I don't know, draw a right triangle.
Okay. That is not very good. Let's make it larger. You said right,
Please.
so that means this is 90.
Okay? And can you label that triangle XYZ?
Okay. Is this okay? X, Y, Z.
That looks good.
All right.
Okay, can you label side XZ
This
6?
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And side YX
Y.
8.
All right.
And let's put the directions on this one to find YZ.
All right. Find Y, Z. So is it okay if I call Y, Z, X?
No, I don't want you to call it X because the
Alright.
angle is X.
Okay.
Let's just leave it as find YZ.
Okay.
Okay, now I just want to point out to everybody that remember, if the two letters do not have a bar on top of it, that means we're looking for the length of that line segment. So we need to find YZ because it's a right triangle. We're going to have to use the Pythagorean theorem. I can't think of another way to do it. Can you, Mr. Riddle?
Nope, I think that's the easiest way.
All right, so
Probably
we're
the only
going to remember Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And c is always the hypotenuse. So in this case, that is yz, is the hypotenuse. That's our c value. So let's go ahead and substitute, Mr. Riddle. We're going to put 6 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. And let's go ahead and simplify that side. So,
So 6 squared plus 8 squared is 100.
That's right. Equals c squared. And we're going to go ahead and take the square root of both sides. Square root of 100 is 10. So that is our answer. Hey, thanks for giving me a blank problem, Mr. Riddle.
Oh, you're welcome. That's a good job coming up with one that quick.
All right, so how should I exit this time?
Tell you what, just step through that red line.
This one?
Yep.
Hey, welcome back, Miss Smith.
Hey.
All right, we got a new problem for you. Turn around, look at it.
All right. Statement: if lines are skewed, then they are not coplanar. What is the contrapositive? Oh, that's easy. Just flip it and negate.
So which one is it?
H. If lines are coplanar, then they are not skewed.
That's right. She flipped it, negated. You feel good about that?
I do. That was easy. What's
A little,
next?
a little too
Oh, you
easy.
want another one?
Very easy.
All right. How about this one then?
Excellent.
Oh. Coordinates in the plane. Okay. So it says if triangle CBA is congruent to triangle ABC, what are the coordinates of D? All right.
How
So
would I do that?
based on the congruency statement, you know that DA, line segment DA is congruent to BC. So looking at the coordinates BC, to go from B to C, you go down 4. So let's do the same thing from A, go down 4, and you will locate D at 2, 1.
There's the answer.
Very, very impressive.
So, Miss Smith, guess what? Since you're in video world, you can fly out of the screen if you want to. You want to try that?
I do.
All right, try it. Go for
All right,
it.
Here I go.
All right, number 16. Thank you for making me small, Miss Hank.
Hey, no problem.
I really like this question because I love to eliminate answers when I can. Look at this. It says triangle TRG is a right triangle. Look at this right now. We need to know the length of RT. That's what the question's asking. Just look at it. The longest side of that triangle is 22, right? Put an arrow, Miss Hank, pointing across from that. Yeah, thank you. That's good. That's the longest side. So what can RT not be? There's no way it can be 28. That's longer than that. Now just take a look at 17. If this side over here is 17, is there any way in the world that this side could be 5. No way. That would be way more than less than half of it. So eliminate 5. Now give yourself a chance. Alright, this is a right triangle. Now we got a 50-50 shot at it. Alright, if it's a right triangle, then I got to use the Pythagorean theorem.
You want to call this side something, Mr. Riddle?
Let's call it B. Alright, because the Pythagorean theorem, and write this down as I say it, please. A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Okay, what do I do now?
Now let's just substitute things. C is 22. So let's put 22 squared over there. Now we'll call 17A, so 17 squared minus B squared. Or plus B squared. Why am I saying minus?
You're just gonna
I
have yourself.
was doing a step ahead. Now let's subtract 17 squared from that side. I cannot do that math in my head.
I was gonna say I'd be pretty.
So please pull out that calculator.
Okay, sorry, I'm gonna cover you up for a second.
Stop doing that.
Teachers, this is just a quick reminder to please pick up the parent handout survey form in your mailbox, and also please turn in your parent-teacher conference forms to your hall secretary. Just make sure your name is on that form. Thank you.
Hey, did y'all get that? We got to turn in those forms at the end of the day.
Okay, so B squared is equal to 195, Mr. Riddle.
Okay, so then let's take the square root of it.
Okay, so B squared is equal to 195. 195. Sorry.
Hey, please stop putting me in the dark. I hate it. Please.
Okay, looks like we get 13.96. Oh, there you go, Mr. Riddle.
Oh, thank you.
13.96.
And look what it says. Find the one closest. Well, 1396 if I round it up to the nearest whole number is 14. But remember, eliminate those choices when you can. Hey,
So-
Miss Hank, do you see that portal button?
Yes.
Would you please touch it?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, welcome back, Mr. Burton. Thanks for coming back.
Good to be back.
You're such a good sport for doing this. So can you turn around and take a look at this problem and walk us through it?
Sure. Okay, so this one says, what value of x makes triangle RTS congruent to triangle JPK? So mainly you just got to know what that symbol means, and you've been seeing it all year, so hopefully you remember it means
You want me to
congruent.
highlight it for you?
That'd be great. Why don't you go ahead and highlight that. Okay, so we're trying to figure out what value of x is going to make these two triangles congruent. One of the ways that the two triangles can be congruent is if each pair of corresponding sides is congruent. So I'm just going to pick a side on triangle RTS using my congruent statement. I'm going to say, let's look at RT, which is 3x plus 4 long. And I want to find out what side that corresponds to on the triangle JPK. So if I look at my congruent statement again, you can see that JP are the first two letters, so I'm going to look at side JP on that triangle, which is 5x minus 8. Now, we know that these must be equal in order for these triangles to be congruent because corresponding sides are congruent. So
All right, now I know you did that last one with the calculator. Can we do this one old school?
yeah, we can do this old school.
All right.
So you have to look at which side has the fewer number of x's. So let's subtract 3x on both sides just so we don't have any more on one side. So we take away 3x and we're going to get 4 equals 2x minus 8. And then we're going to say, well, we just want to get the x's by themselves, so let's add 8 to both sides. We're going to get that 12 equals 2 times x. And then to find out what x is, we're just going to divide by 2. So we find out that x equals 6. Okay, now if you didn't remember how to solve an equation, you could just try checking A, B, C, D and seeing which values makes RT congruent to JP or TS congruent to PK and so forth.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Burton. So listen, earlier I found a really cool button on Mr. Riddle's gadgets over here. It says dinosaur. Are you ready? I'm going to hit it. Yeah, here we go. Oh no, Mr. Riddle, what did you do?
Well, look at this question. It says, if P is parallel to Q, what's the measure of angle ACD? I made you so small so that everyone would see when they're looking for ACD, they're actually looking for this angle that you're standing in.
It's kind of neat being an angle. Okay, so let's talk them through this. It's kind of weird. But, alright, so we need to find the measure of angle ACD. Now, the two expressions that we have here, this one and this one, are corresponding angles. Right, Mr. Riddle?
Yeah, those are corresponding, so what?
So, that's important because if the two lines are parallel, then the two angles are congruent. They're equal to each other. So let's start by doing that. 7x plus 3 equals 9x minus 31.
Okay, so let me solve this real quick.
Okay.
I subtract 3
Mm-hmm.
from each side. I'd have 7x equals 9x minus 34. I subtract 9x, subtract 9x. I have negative 2x equals negative 34.
Okay, go ahead and divide by negative 2.
Okay. I get x is equal to 17. Am I done?
We are not done, but you better believe that's going to be a choice in one of those
Well,
multiple.
look, it is a choice. B. You're saying B is not the answer?
Is not the answer.
Why not?
We need to keep going. Because the question's asking us to find the measure of angle ACD, the one that I'm standing in right here.
Oh, okay. So it's not B.
Right.
Okay.
So, first, I would say we need to find the measure of angle ACB. Can you highlight that one for me, Mr. Riddle?
Sure, I'm going to make it in blue.
Okay, please don't make me blue,
ACB.
though.
Don't make it blue?
No, don't make me blue.
Oh, I won't. I'm just
Okay.
doing this. So
Okay.
this is the angle she's talking about. ACB.
Okay, so since that's 9x minus 31, we're going to go ahead and substitute our value for x in that expression, and then we'll go from there. So can you do that for me, please, Mr.
Sure.
Riddle?
9 times 17 minus 31.
Good luck.
Oh, no problem. 9 times 17 is, well, let's see. 9 times 10 is 90 plus 63. That's 153 minus 31. Then I subtract 31. Let's see. 153 minus 31 is 122.
Okay, now we're still
So-
not finished.
Well, wait a minute. Choice A says 122.
Nope, it's not choice A, because that's not what it's asking for. It's asking for a measure of angle ACD, the one that I'm standing in right here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so since the angle that I am and ACB are supplementary because they form a linear pair, let's go ahead and subtract that value that you just got from 180. Then we'll be done.
Okay, so 180 minus 122 is 68. So 68, what are you thinking? It's 58.
58.
Oops. Okay, so 58 is my answer.
Okay, yes, now we're finished. So remember, once you think you have the answer, assume that you don't. Go back to the question and see what it's asking you for.
All right, good job, Miss Hank.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Kind of fun being an angle.
No problem. 3,
Wait, why are you
2,
putting down? Wait a second.
1. So, it looks like it's my turn again.
It sure is.
All right, let's see. Another parallel line question. How many of those are you going to give me?
It's alright, just do it, please.
All right.
Stop complaining.
It says given, line A is parallel to line B. So with that in mind, can you please give me my riddle slashes?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Now look, 93 has a slash, 10x minus 3 does not. So let's just set this one up as an equation. Because I know if I add those together, I have to get 180. So let's go 93 plus 10x minus 3 equals 180. Alright, combine those like terms for me.
Alright, so we get 10x plus 90 equals 180.
Oh man, I hope when you take the SOLs, these questions are this easy. So now look, let's just subtract 90 from each side. Alright, so we have 10x equals 90, you divide by 10, x equals 9. The questions are not much easier than that. So Miss Hank, how do you plan on getting me out of here this time?
Oh, here you go.
Hi, alright, let's do this problem. So, I've got rhombus CBAD, and they're asking me about the perimeter. So perimeter means the length all the way around the rhombus. So all four sides added up. So I'm going to think first, what do I know about a rhombus? Actually, Mr. Riddle, will you label what this problem tells me to label? So this is EC is...
Let me do this first.
Okay.
You just said, what do we know about a rhombus?
Yes,
So
I'm finish that.
I'm going to do this showing that in a rhombus, all four sides are equal.
Yes.
Now, what would you like me to mark?
Alright, so it tells me that EC is 9 inches long, right? So that little section there, and then EB is 12 inches long. So let's mark that. Okay. Now, that doesn't look like it helps me right away because I need the length of the side of the rhombus, but I'm going to remember that the SOL loves to hide right triangles, and I don't know, yeah, Mr. Riddle, if you'll mark that that is a right angle. I know that their diagonals are perpendicular. So that is a right triangle in a rhombus. So all I really need to find is the length of C, the hypotenuse. So I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem. All right. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And C is going to be the length of one side of the rhombus. So let's do 9 squared plus 12 squared. That's my A and B. I'm solving for C squared, the hypotenuse. So I'm not good at arithmetic. You'll pull up the calculator for me. Thank you. And 9 squared plus 12 squared, enter.
I'm so sorry I'm slow with this.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm doing it with a pencil.
All right, 225 is not the length. I need to take the square root of that. So square root of 225 will give me 15. All right.
I'm done.
My answer is 15, right? Wrong! Because they asked me, remember, they asked me for perimeter. So I know each side is 15 inches. It's a rhombus. All four sides are congruent. So I'm just going to add up 15 4 times. Or do 4 times 15, either way. And I can do that in my head, it's 60 inches.
Miss Hopkins, how do you want to exit this time?
Just watch.
Daggone it, Miss Hank, you had me do one just 2 problems ago. Why are you going to get me to do 21 as well?
You really got to stop complaining, Mr. Riddle, or I'm going to have you do even more.
Listen, I know you're kind of mad at me and you're making me do all this, but you got to get over it. So just let me do this problem, and then can we have bygones be bygones?
Just so you know, I'm already planning on what to do for your exit.
I don't like the sound of that. Let me do this problem. I'm kind of nervous now.
Just, can you please read the problem?
What are you going to do?
Mr. Riddle, turn around and please read the problem.
Okay, 21. JK passes through points J, -6, 6, and K, -3, 4. If FR is perpendicular to JK, what would the ratio of the slope of FR be? Don't let the word ratio scare you. Ratio is just another fancy way of saying fraction. You're looking for the slope, which is a fraction. Alright, so if we're going to look for perpendicular slopes, we got to have opposite reciprocal slopes. So first, I'm going to need to find the slope of JK.
Here, you want me to mark these X, Y, X, Y?
You can start that way if you want to. I was getting ready to say that. But
Sorry.
anyway, it's okay. So now let's just do y minus y over x minus x. And that's going to tell me the slope of JK. Notice how we did 4 minus 6, the y's, and then we went in the same order, -3 minus -6. We got -2 over 3. So for the opposite reciprocal, we got to flip it. So -2 over 3 becomes 3 over 2, and since that one's negative, perpendicular has to be positive. So the answer is C. So remember, on those perpendicular slopes, flip them and negate them. Okay? So what is your plan on getting me out of here?
All right, Mr. Riddle, I've been dying to try this button. This
What
one
button?
right here, it says monster.
I know what it says. I'm not sitting around.
Hey, Miss Allen.
Hey!
Thanks for joining us.
Oh.
We got this pretty cool app where we can just grab a teacher from wherever they are and put them into the smartboard.
I was wondering how I got here.
So, hey, can you turn around and look at this problem and work it out for us?
Sure. It looks like I've got a triangle, ABC, and they give me a couple of sides, and they're asking me which of the following are, so there's probably going to be more than one answer, possible lengths for the other side that I don't know. Well, if this were me, Mr. Riddle, could we find the range of that third side?
Absolutely.
Because
Gladly.
we know that the range is going to tell us where our values have to lie between, right? Because it has to add up to be, the two smaller sides have to add up to more than the longer side. So let's see what we can figure out here. That gives us a small side of 24 and a big side of 68. So we know that other side has to lie somewhere in between there. And I like what you did, Mr. Riddle. You didn't put that or equal to sign there. So we know that that's going to be in between it, but not including that. So let's look at the values we have. They're in order. So let's cross off the ones that are below 24 and equal to 24.
What about this one?
We're going to cross that one off because it can't be equal to.
Okay.
And then let's go to the high side. We got 68 there. We're going to cross that one off. And 75, we're going to cross that off. It looks like we have 4 possible answers. 30, 37, 46, and 58. Does that sound right to you, Mr. Riddle?
Sounds good.
Can we test it? How would we test it?
You tell me.
I think if we added 30 and 22, we would get 52,
Which is larger
which
than
is larger than
46.
46, so
Very
that
good.
works. And what about if we add 22 and 46? Would that be greater than that biggest value, 58?
You said it wrong. If we, oh,
No,
wait,
she
no,
got it,
no,
she
you
got
didn't.
it.
I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. You said it exactly right.
Because I want to add the two smaller
Right,
sides.
right. You were adding these two sides, saying
Right.
it's larger than this one.
Right.
I was looking at that 46.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
You're absolutely right.
That's awesome. So that checks out too. So the ones in the middle should work. We should be good.
Thank you very much, Miss Allen. Now, can you just face me for just a second? Just don't worry about what Mr.
Yeah.
Riddle's doing for a minute.
Okay.
And just stand there for a minute. Just
Sure.
hang out for a second.
Anything I can do to help?
Perfect. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, welcome back, Mr. Oski.
Welcome back. I'm a little embarrassed. I didn't get an outfit change. You think anyone will notice?
No one will notice. Well,
All right.
now they will since you said it, but.
Oh, great. All right, what am I doing now? Let's see if I can do this one.
All right, turn around and look at this problem.
All right, number 23. Chris is creating a fenced-in area for his dog. I have 3 dogs, by the way. In the backyard, it will be the shape of a triangle. Which of the following are possible dimensions of the fenced-in area? Okay, so what do I know about a triangle? I know that the two smaller sides have to be larger than the third side. So let's check this out. In number A, I've got 12 plus 12, which is 24. Is 24 bigger than 24? Well, they're equal, so it can't be A. All right, in B, I have 14 plus 15. 14 plus 15 is 29. 29 is smaller than 30. Again, that can't be an option. Number 16, or number C, letter C. 16 plus 22 is 38. Is 38 bigger than 37? It is. That's my ticket. But you know how we math teachers are. Let's check them all. And D, 15 plus 16 is 31. 31 is not bigger than 34. So I'm going with C.
Very good.
Can I go home now?
Yeah, just walk through this red line right
All
here.
right.
in triangle RST, measure angle R equals 58 and measure angle S equals 73. Which inequality is true? So, Mr. Riddle, can you please draw a triangle for me?
Absolutely. How's that?
You're braver than I am. I would use the tool. Alright, and
You
go
said
ahead.
draw it.
That's
Oh,
true.
wait a minute. I need to put my R, my S, and my T.
Please.
R, S, and T. There you go.
Okay, can you label those angles, please?
Well, let's see. R is 58. And S is 73. Okay?
Okay, so it's asking us which inequality is true. Before we even answer that question, we need to find that third angle. You should always do that. If you're given 2 out of the 3 angles, go ahead and find the third angle. So, Mr. Riddle, can you find that third angle for me, please?
Sure, I know all the angles should total 180, so if I go 180 minus 73 minus 58, that should equal,
Why don't you go ahead and pull up the calculator?
alright, let's see, alright, 180 minus 73 minus 58 equals 49.
Okay, so that must be the measure angle T is 49. Can you please write that in there for me?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm sorry about covering you up with that calculator.
Oh, that's alright, no problem.
Wow.
Okay, so now we need to go ahead and make the chart that we told you about earlier in the year. We have one side for angles and one side for sides.
Now, how should I list these?
That's a very good question. So let's take a look at our answer choices. It wants to know which inequality is true. We need to know what those symbols mean. So, Mr. Riddle, can you tell everyone what those symbols mean?
Yeah, this means less than. This says RT is less than TS, which is less than RS. This means they're going from smallest to largest.
So let's go ahead and list our angles that way. Smallest to largest, Mr. Riddle.
Alright, so the smallest angle is 49. That's T. And then 58's next, that's R. And then S is here. Now what?
Okay, so now we're going to go to the other side of the table, and we're going to write the missing 2 letters for each one.
So RS is missing there.
Yep, TS and the
ST is
next one.
missing here. And TR is missing here.
That's right. So what you just did there on that side of the table is list them in order from smallest to largest. So now we need to find that in our answer choices. So let's see, we need to start with RS. Oh, you got it? Good job, Mr. Riddle.
I did this on purpose. Look, ST and TS are the same. So be careful. Watch that. But this problem overall should be pretty easy.
All
Hey, Miss Hank, I'm going to try
Thanks,
something.
Mr. Riddle. Oh boy. Okay.
Just stand still.
Okay.
Oh, I guess it's my turn again.
Yes, it is.
What number do I have?
Number 25.
25. Oh my goodness, why'd you make me so small? I do this to other people. No one does it to me.
I just thought it'd be fun.
Alright, well look, this says, what's the measure of angle DAR in circle A? Okay, well first I have to notice that way over there, angle RBD is 34. And if you look, that's an inscribed angle. And if an inscribed angle makes an arc that's double its size. In other words, I can take 34 and multiply it by 2, and that's 68. And
All right,
that's,
so you're saying this arc is 68?
yes, that arc is 68 degrees. Perfect. Now, if this is 68, then this central angle is congruent. So, angle A is 68 degrees.
That seemed way too easy.
I think so too, but oh well. Thank you for giving me an easy one.
Alright, well, you're not totally off the hook. Remember the last time you got rid of me?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, it's time for payback. Welcome back, Mr. Burton.
Thank you.
We have one more problem for you. Are you up for it?
Yeah, let's see if I can do this one.
Alright, turn around, go ahead and look at that problem.
Number 26. What value of x will make triangle ABE similar to triangle ACD? Okay? So similar means that our sides are going to be proportional. Corresponding sides are proportional here. Now we can set up any proportion we want using our similarity statement, but I'm probably going to want to have something that includes that x. Now I can either use BC or I can use the whole side AC, which actually might be the easier approach for this problem. So let's look at our similarity statement and figure out what sides correspond to each other. But it looks like AB, if we look up top, AB is going to be corresponding to side AC, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the same, or no, different triangles, sorry. And if we look at the next pair of sides, let's look at AE. So we're going to look at the first and third letters of both triangles. So A and E
That's
is...
a terrible color. Hold on a second.
Okay.
AE.
AE is going to be corresponding to AD. So we're going to set up a proportion using these different colors here. So we'll say AB, which is 15 units long. So we're going to write 15 divided by, okay, now the whole thing AC, we don't know how long it is because we don't know how long X is. So we can either create a new letter to talk about this side, or we can make it a question mark, or anything that's going to be easier for you. Let's go with Y. So we're going to say 15 divided by Y is equal to, now we used the smaller triangle the first time, so we're going to have to use AC this time, or no.
AE.
AE, thank you, the green. Okay, AE, which is 18 divided by the length AD. Now, AD is not 6, right? AD is 18 plus 6, which is going to be 24. And now we've got our proportion, so we're just going to cross multiply and figure out what that total length Y has to be. So we have 18Y equals 15 times 24.
Mr. Reel's really,
times 24.
Mr. Reel's really good at doing multiplication
So it'd
on
be
top of his
240 plus 120, so 360.
Told ya.
Very good. All right, then we're going to divide by 18, which I think is 20, right, Mr. Riddle? Check on that.
That is correct, sir.
Okay, so Y is 20. Now, were they asking for Y, or the whole length from A to C on this segment? No, they're just looking for the part from B to C. But we know from A to B is 15. So we're just going to say, well, what's 20 minus 15? That's going to be that length BC. So BC has to be 5 units long.
Thank you very much, Mr. Burton.
You're very welcome.
Now listen, we've tried this with a few people. Let's see how you do.
Hi, I'm back again. All right, so our goal here is to plot a secondary point on the graph such that QT is perpendicular to line R. So perpendicular means that two lines intersect to form right angles. So my goal is to get my two lines looking kind of like this, but slanted, so I've got right angles. All right, so let's see here.
So what would you like me to do?
Yeah, okay, well, a lot. I first need to find the slope of line R. Alright, so I'm going to start on the left, and I'm going to do rise over run to find slope. So, Mike, I don't know if you want to highlight that, or...
I think what I'm going to do is do it with red.
Gotcha. Okay.
Let me do a line.
And I always start on the left because we read from left to right.
All right, I'm going to do like an orange line. So we would come,
Gotcha.
there's
Alright,
my rise.
there's my rise.
Is that good?
Yes. Alright, so now I have to count the units. So, how many was that?
That was 6.
6, okay, 6 units up, and then
That was 10.
10. Alright, so my slope is 6, positive 6, divided by 10. Okay, it's positive because that line is going up. So let's reduce that or simplify that. If you're not good at that, you can do that in the calculator. Math, enter. Alright, so my slope of R is 3 over 5. And I know that perpendicular lines, they don't have the same slope, that's parallel. But their slopes are flipped, the reciprocal, and they're opposite signs. So my slope of QT needs to be negative 5 over 3. Would you write that to the side somewhere?
I sure will.
Thank you.
I'm going to put it right here.
Okay. So I'm going to use negative 5 over 3
So where do I go from here first?
But you didn't write that. You didn't write that down.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alright, so I don't want to start, guys, that's my direction. So what that tells you is to start on point T and to count down 5 units. Down because it's negative. 2, 4, 5. And to the right, we always run to the right. 1, 2, 3, click. And you would use your pointer tool, click there, and you're actually done. But let's draw, thank you, Mr. Riddle, and see what our answer looks like. And those two lines do, in fact, look perpendicular. Awesome.
That was really cool.
Thanks.
All right, how are you leaving the screen this time?
I'll just walk out.
Okay,
Is that okay?
that's cool.
Alright, number 28. Mr. Riddle did it again. I think I'm an angle. Is that right, Mr. Riddle?
That's correct. I made you small again so they can see that when they say find angle ABC, they're looking at this angle you're standing in.
Alright. Wait, are they finding ABC or ABD?
I said ABC, I meant ABD. ABD.
Okay, I thought I was an angle ABD. Okay. So we need to take a look. So look at the angle that I'm standing in right now, and look at the angle that's given, angle 29. Mr. Riddle, can you tell them what the relationship is between those two angles?
Well, since these two lines are parallel, these two, the one you're standing in 29, those are alternate interior angles.
Hang on a second. How do we know that the lines are parallel?
These little signs here tell me
Very good.
these two are parallel.
All right. So this diagram can be kind of tricky. Can we get rid of the line CB? Just kind of scribble it out, please.
Squiggle it out. You got to
Thank you.
ignore that. I think I know where you're going with this, Miss Snake. And then you'd like to extend this. Oh, hold on. I don't want to do that. You want to extend this line right here, right? AB?
Please. Please don't try to draw over me, though.
I won't. There you go. I extended AB.
Okay. So now we can look at the two angles. Can you mark them for me, Mr. Riddle?
Well, I already marked you.
Okay.
Now I can mark this one. Well, let me get a pen. I can mark this one. And if you notice, these two should be congruent.
Okay. So there's our answer. Measure of angle ABD is equal to 29 degrees.
All right, good.
Am I done for now, Mr.
No,
Riddle?
just sit tight. Here, hey, do this one too.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we
All right,
have...
so this says circle all, keyword all the boxes which contain valid arguments.
Alright, well, let's take a look at this one first.
All right, that one says, if P then Q, if Q then R, therefore, if P then R.
Hey, that sounds like law of syllogism, so that's a valid argument. Let's go ahead and circle that one.
All right. Which one
And
do you want to do now?
let's go ahead and do the one to the left of me.
Okay. This says, if A then B, not A, therefore not B.
Sounds like inverse, and there is no law of inverse. So
So
go
I
ahead
will
and
not be circling that one.
cross that one off, please.
All right. How about the one below you?
Okay, one I'm standing on?
Yeah, it says, if A, then B, not B, therefore not A.
That would be law of contrapositive, and that is a valid law. So go ahead and circle that.
All right.
Wait, last time you drew a circle, I fell through it. Am I going to fall through this
No.
one?
No.
Okay.
I'm not going to do anything this
All right,
time.
all right.
All right, the one down below you and to your right.
Okay, this one down here?
Yep, it says, if A then B, if A then C, therefore if B then C.
That doesn't sound like anything I know. Anything you know, Mr. Riddle?
Nope, it's just there to throw you off.
Cross it
And
off.
the last one. This says, if A then B, if B then C, therefore not C, then not A.
All right, now let's look at the first two lines. And Mr. Riddle, can you just show what our conclusion would be?
Yeah, we could cross out these B's and we could have if A then C, that would be syllogism.
That would be law of syllogism. So then, if we took the contrapositive of that,
Which is this. If not C, then not A.
Sounds like a valid argument to me.
So you should have circled 3 things. Be careful when you take these on SOLs and check them all.
Yeah, if you don't circle all of them that are valid, then you will not get credit for that question. So,
All
Mr. Riddle, can I fly out again?
Sure, just get out of there.
All right.
Mr. Riddle, what have you done? What have you got me into? I haven't had math in like 40 years. I'm old.
I wanted to show these kids that once you learn geometry, you never forget it. Turn around and look at this problem.
Okay.
All right, read it for us.
Number 30. What is the value of angle ABC?
All right, what do you remember about inscribed angles?
I think it's half of 60.
I am impressed. I'm impressed. Do you remember? So you said half, so if I take 60 and divide by 2, I find that angle, correct?
30. Yeah.
30 degrees, so that's this angle right here.
Awesome.
I'm impressed, Miss Jones.
Comes back to you.
All right. Hey, stand there for a second. I'm going to get you out here.
Okay.
All right, so how'd you do? Well, you can take a look at your results and interpret your results like this. If you have more than 25 correct, then you're doing a good job. If you have 20 to 24 correct, well, not bad. You might have to do a little bit of work, but so far so good. If you have less than 20, well, you may have to have some tutoring. So let's get on the stick and let's get that done.